Good evening, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project, Magnetic Reversal News, Sacred Geography, and Shinrin-yoku, bringing you a grand solar minimum update Friday, December 30th, around 8:30 p.m. Mountain Time 2022. We had a couple of M flares firing off the sun today. Good news, there were no coronal mass ejections, nothing expected to be coming towards Earth. But we're keeping a close eye on the sun as we are approaching solar max. The big story: storm brings flooding and landslides across California. Keep calm. It's boom time. 3 atmospheric rivers making landfall one after another. We're on number 2 right now, but number 3 is in the clip. Storm is now blanketing Sierra Nevada in heavy snow and bringing rain and landslides across California. And let's take a look at the California resorts as of now, right before the new year, and see the deepest snowpack. Mammoth Mountain has reported 11 inches of fresh snow in the last 24 hours and 37 inches over the past several days. Mammoth's base depths range from 85 inches to 165 inches at the summit, and that's the big winter chicken dinner, the deepest snow among the nation's ski resorts as of now. Now, this news gets interesting. Alta in Utah has a base of 90 inches. They've had a deficit for some years, but that is a record-breaking base this early in the season. And the tiny Appalachian Ski Mountain in North Carolina has snow depths of up to 124 inches. That's insane. In North Carolina, has it even snowed that much? Plus, we have 75-inch base at Boreal, 64 at Kirkwood, and I think we have 100 inches here in Colorado. Here's the Westel Snowtel, current snow water equivalent for December 30th. It's looking good in all of the Pacific Northwest and most of the Rocky Mountains. The only states in a deficit are here in Colorado, the Southeast, and small portions of Arizona and all of New Mexico, but that will change according to the models, so stick with us as 3+ feet of snow and waves of snow are setting up to pound Colorado. New Year's Eve will be wet on both coasts and snowy at the high elevations as an atmospheric river will target California. And the storm will ring in the new year with severe weather, potentially in the South Central. Let's take a look at the forecast from this awesome AccuWeather forecaster.
All right, we're tracking a storm now in the Pacific. This is the caboose for the storms in California, the last one. That'll be coming in Saturday night and Sunday, and then we have to track this storm as it moves east. This is going to be a pretty big weather maker early next week. I think primarily severe weather, but there will be a snow threat with this. But here's the area we're talking about. We have it highlighted here. Here's Alaska, Washington, Oregon, California, so it's well to the west yet of the west coast, but it's charging east pretty quick. And you could already see moisture out ahead of this. You see how that's gathering? This is going to be another wet storm for California. Good news. Let's track it as we move eastward here. Here it comes as we move into Saturday night, Sunday. The energy, by the way, this energy is a little farther south than its predecessors, so this will bring a soaking rain to Southern California, also some snow, certainly into the Wasatch, also across the mountains of the Four Corners. Watch this come northward, and it's going to be lifting to the northeast. That's key, because that also means the snow's going to be pretty far north, we think, mostly in the northern plains. And with this kind of a track, guess what we're going to start doing? Pulling in warmth and Gulf moisture, and with this energy,
holy
that
macaroni,
means severe weather. So this is going to be a two-sided storm. There is going to be at least some snow threat. Now, this is the part that's a little up for debate on where this snow is going to be. Is it going to be farther north? Is it going to be farther south? Not sure yet, but there is going to be some snow, certainly in and around Denver again, we think, as we get in the Sunday night, Monday.
This is how I would forecast weather, trust me.
Parts of the northern plains. I think we're more confident about this severe weather. I think that is going to happen late Monday night as all the ingredients come together. That upper low, the colder air behind it. But here's the key. You're going to be able to lift a lot of Gulf moisture northward, pretty far north for this time of the year. I want to show that to you. Look at our moisture content. We're going to start here on Sunday. Now, where you see the green is where you don't have a lot of moisture content. But watch how as this storm comes out in the plain, it's like a magnet. As the storm comes out in the plains, it just pulls this moisture northward. You start getting in the northern plains, and with this kind of a track, guess what we're going to start doing? Pulling in warmth and Gulf moisture, and with this energy, that means...
Well, what just happened there? So you can obviously see a big storm is setting up for the new year, like a queer, but we'll get to that in a moment when we do our own forecast. But Arizona Dam is now seeing the highest water level in 5 years, and it's relieving farmers, according to the report. But this looks more like Chernobyl, doesn't it? Rather than a dam. Rain and thunderstorms across the south. Active weather continues for the west and Alaska. Take a look at the map. A cold front across the Mississippi Valley will focus periods of rain, locally heavy, and thunderstorms through today. Across the west, a river of moisture will continue to impact the region with heavy rain, heavy higher terrain snow, and gusty winds. A powerful storm will approach and affect the Aleutians and southern Alaska this weekend, and another storm will affect the lower 48 as we enter the new year. But right now, winter storm watches and warnings up for Utah, Wyoming, Colorado, and Idaho. Say it ain't so, as well as the Pacific Northwest. And flood warnings and watches on the flanks of the Sierras, as well as winter storm watches and warnings for all of the Sierras and most of Nevada. So a very active pattern, and very active indeed. The global warming goodness is going to fall in great numbers before the new year. Here is Friday through Saturday, and then the new year. We should see up to 4 feet of snow in the central mountains by New Year's morning. Heavy snow in northern Nevada there, and moderate to heavy snow through the Cascades. The entire state of Idaho should see some moderate to heavy snow, depending on the elevation, as well as western Wyoming, western Colorado, and most of northern and central Utah. Holy macaroni, it's going to be a good setup for heavy totals coming through January 2nd and the 3rd. By the new year here, watch this storm move through the upper plains there, the northern plains, starting Monday, January 2nd. Here's Monday through Tuesday into your Wednesday. That storm plume is going to shoot right through Minnesota. Say it ain't soda, but it is. As well as northern Wisconsin, bringing up to 16 inches to the tippy touch of the state. It's their fate. South Dakota picking up 16 through the south central areas, and heavy snow through. Take a look at what happens here in California. It literally becomes impassable by January 8th. And there has been a system we've been modeling here. It's been showing heavy snow for New Jersey coast, but now it's back to just moderate snow for Pennsylvania. So we're keeping a close eye on these nor'easter. This is far out, but by January 8th, I think we should be seeing some action in the Northeast. So stay tuned for the boom. As we're looking at seismic update, most recent quake happening here in south of Africa in the middle of nowhere in the mid-ocean ridge. The earth is growing. And here we have an interesting quake happening on the tip of Greenland. Could be to heavy accumulations of snow there. Worldwide volcano news update. Nothing much happening in the worldwide volcano blogosphere. Sangay, Raventador, Popo, Barren Island. Uh-oh. What's going on there? Nothing much. Barren Island, there's probably nobody there because it's barren. Just puffing to 5,000 feet. Shivalush. Volcanic ash is not even identifiable. Sabancaya to 24,000. Sungay to 21. Reventador, 15,000. Popo puffing to 20. Passing to Diamond. Shivalush puffing to 15. And Kerinci volcano in Sumatra, Indonesia, increased seismic activity. And they've painted the whole mountain pink. A pair of M flares around Earth facing AR 3176 today, including an M3.7 that was just observed right there, like swimwear, December 30th. The event does not appear to be eruptive in any nature other than a brief radio blackout, which you can see here over much of South America. No major impact should be expected. Check out solarham.net and Oppenheimer Ranch Project at Diamond the Dave on the tweet box. If you're a Twitter, go get her. Oh, look at this. We're having a small flare. Let's take a look at that live on air as we record the show. Bear with us. We're having some connectivity issues, perhaps. Here's the GOES X-ray flux 1 minute data, and you can see that flare just peaked at C7.7. So nothing to see there. But the other solar activity happening, quite obvious. Nothing creating coronal mass ejections or any activity here. You can see the 3-day geomagnetic forecast is all quiet. And they have added some more decimal points to the KP index. That's kind of interesting. Everything is changing in space weather forecasting as we move forward. More and more information. Let's take a look at the latest HMI intensity, and you can see, well, that sunspot group that could be flaring, new sunspot group moving in on the limb, and nothing spectacular, nothing dangerous to report on. We already reported on the snow, ho, ho, ho. So let's take a look at the Europe GFS. Why wouldn't we? A lot of people reporting that Europe is exceptionally hot right now, but if you look at the models through the new year here, it's going to be considerable snow in the UK, northern UK, Scotland, and even Ireland, and heavy snow in Scandinavia. I wonder if Einrich's boyhood home will be picking up snow on this model. No, it'll be warm in Denmark. Denmark is going to be picking up snow by January 10th, and by look at that. By mid-January, Denmark is going to be picking up some heavy global warming goodness, as well as most of Europe, and heavy snow in the Alps. So heads up, winter is coming, and no one's bumming. Grand solar minimum much? The future looks cold. In recent years, well, the sun has been at its weakest state in more than a century. This is revealed by the sunspot count, which we can see below here. Solar cycle 24 is as low as the lowest cycle since solar cycle 14, and may in fact be lower than that, which dates all the way back to the early 1900s, over 110 years ago. And solar cycle 25 is not looking to be a banger cycle either. Now, what happens during these minimums? Well, come read Cap Alon's amazing synopsis of the grand solar minimum and what it means for the future of humanity. Now, the largest ever animal may have been the Triassic ichthyosaur, a super predator bigger than even the largest mammal we know on Earth right now, the blue whale. New fossil discoveries show predatory marine reptiles from 200 million years ago may have been bigger than today's blue whales. And these are not just blue whales. They have teeth and they eat shit. Yeah, stuff that's big and alive, like people. The good news is there were no people 200 million years ago. Well, and these animals, the ichthyosaur, evolved rapidly. Look at these fat, plump creatures. Almost looks like walking down the beach in New Jersey today. Hey. Now, the Bering Land Bridge formed surprisingly late during the last ice age, according to a new study. By reconstructing the sea level history of the Bering Strait, scientists found that the strait remained flooded until 35,700 years ago, not long before humans began migrating into the Americas. The only problem with that idea is evidence in California in the La Brea tar pits suggests that there was human activity in California 300,000 years ago. So, the dates apparently don't match up. Now, the man with the mammoth bones, this guy is a beast in the gold mining industry and as well in the archaeological and geological realms. In recent times, he's been interviewed by Joe Rogan, the only person he would allow to interview him, and he owns some huge gold mining stakes, and he is a multi-millionaire, maybe even approaching a billionaire. But he's a pretty cool guy, and he has tens of thousands of mammoth bones and other species. In fact, tens of thousands of species. And this is John Reeves, a larger-than-life character in Alaska, described the taste of barbecued mammoth in one account. In a land of big mountains and even bigger dreams, the former champion swimmer still cuts an imposing profile. He stands 6'10", but probably reminds us that his son surpasses 7 feet. Reeves is one of the largest private landowners in Alaska. His company, Fairbanks Gold LLC, owns thousands of acres of patented mining grounds and also holds numerous additional claims along rivers in both state and federal land. And these rivers contain the Alaskan mucks. And with all of his land, Reeves has constantly uncovered mammoth tusks and bones. They aren't hard to find. It's part of the world. And in just a 1 5-acre plot on his land, he estimates he has 5 million mammoth bones. And that's a boom. Now, another boom is how to watch the Quadrantids. Now, the Quadrantid meteors are one of the best meteor showers all year. And they're peaking next year on January 2nd and 3rd. The Quadrantid meteor showers is considered one of the best viewing meteor showers all year. And here is how to maximize your chances of seeing one of these bolides. It's the first meteor shower of 2023, and the Quadrantids is peaking right after the new year, the 2nd and the 3rd. And it may be one of the most spectacular showers of the years. It's active from December 26th to January 16th, but will peak on the 2nd and 3rd of 2023. Viewers can expect an average of 80 meteors per hour streaking through Earth's atmosphere, according to NASA. Although the shower could produce up to 200 meteors per hour, most notably the Quadrantids are known for producing dramatic fireball meteors, which are longer and brighter than the typical meteor because they originate from bigger pieces of debris, which is not good news, because if one of these hits the planet, we lose. Now, the Quadrantids are a debris trail of asteroid called 2003 EH1, which was discovered in the Lowell Observatory Near Earth Object Search, or LONEOS, or LONEOS, in 2003. The asteroid is 2 miles or 3.2 kilometers across and may be the remnant of an extinct comet, according to a 2004 study published in the Astronomical Journal that we will share with you below, like all of the links to everything we spoke about, so you can cross our T's and dot our I's. Now, asteroid 2003 EH1 orbits the sun every 5.52 years, according to NASA. Never a straight answer. But Earth passes through its debris trail every year at a perpendicular angle, making the spectacular bolides come in at a steep, straight in. Well, and if they hit the surface, it'll be boom time. Now, the best view of this short but spectacular show: find a place away from light pollution on the night of January 2nd or pre-dawn hours of the 3rd, and lie flat on your back and look towards the edge of the Big Dipper, the Dipper handle, because it is the quadrant, the Quadrantids, named by French astronomer Jérôme Landé in 1795, but not recognized on the list of modern constellations, the Quadrans Muralis, where these bolides will originate. And if you want to try the Quadrantis Muralis with your eyes, you probably have to live in Pagosa Springs or move to another planet. Well, then you wouldn't be able to see it. Now, what you want to do is look at the space between Bootes and Draco and the handle of the Big Dipper, and it's a triangular shape of blackness that's supposed to resemble a quadrant, or the Quadrantids, a navigational tool to measure angles. Well, the next meteor shower after the Quadrantids will be the Lyrids, which won't happen until the spring ding-ding in April, around the 15th. So, stay tuned for more boom. And check the links below. Now, if you want to know about more topical information, like the fake war against Ukraine and Russia, and the propaganda machine, and the fact that the U.S. narrative has shifted 100% in the last decade, check out my good friend, Glenn Greenwald. Well, we published it over on our Rumble channel at Oppenheimer Ranch Project, Erasing Inconvenient Truths. Media rewrites the Ukraine's dark history, and how we now, well, we all love the Nazis. Decoding Göbekli Tepe with Archaeoastronomy, a paper published back in 2016-2017. Decoded Pillar 43 and many other structures in the Göbekli Tepe complex. Well, actually, just the small portion, the limited portion that's been unearthed as of now. And, well, it tells quite a story of the archaeoastronomy of the Neolithic people 11,500 years ago, and what they knew. They knew of the 12,800 year Younger Dryas event and the cometary impact, and they recorded it on these pillars. So join us tomorrow on Revolution Radio, freedomslips.com, for Cosmic Catastrophe at 12 noon Mountain Time, for the next boom to knowledge. Proper prior planning prevents piss poor performance. I hope you got something out of the video. If you don't, catch up on the radio show noon Mountain Time tomorrow with Leah and I on the topic of the archaeoastronomy of Göbekli Tepe. Well, you can catch it tomorrow night on Magnetic Reversal News, where we will repost the podcast for all you to see. Subscribe to the channel, become a Patreon, support the work we do. And be a hero and share this video. We love you. Be safe.